Romeo and Juliet. The play opens with a chorus who explains that two noble households in Verona, the Montagues and the Capulets, are locked in an ancient grudge. This feud repeatedly erupts into public violence. The chorus foreshadows the outcome. Two star-crossed lovers will take their own lives, and their deaths will end the conflict between their families. From the beginning, fate and inevitability overshadow the story. A street fight breaks out between servants of the two houses. Benvolio, a Montague, attempts to restore peace, but Tybalt, a Capulet, escalates the violence. The Prince of Verona intervenes and threatens death to anyone who disturbs the peace again. Meanwhile, Romeo Montague is heartsick over Rosalyn, a woman who does not return his affection. His melancholy reveals his romantic and impulsive nature. Benvolio encourages him to forget Rosalyn by attending a Capulet feast and comparing her to other women. At the Capulet household, Lord Capulet discusses Paris, a nobleman who wishes to marry Juliet. Though Juliet is not yet 14, her parents consider the match suitable. Lady Capulet encouraged Juliet to observe Paris at the feast. Romeo attends the Capulet ball in disguise. There, he sees Juliet and instantly forgets Rosalyn. They share a sonnet in dialogue, symbolizing their immediate harmony and shared feeling. They kiss, but soon discover they belong to enemy families. Despite the danger, their attraction is undeniable. After the feast, Romeo secretly enters the Capulet orchard. In the famous balcony scene, Juliet speaks openly of her love. Unaware Romeo is listening. They exchange vows and decide to marry quickly, despite the risks. Romeo seeks the help of Friar Lawrence. Though surprised by Romeo's sudden change of heart, the friar agrees to marry them, hoping their union will end the feud. The nurse, devoted to Juliet, acts as a messenger between the lovers. Romeo and Juliet are married in secret. Their happiness is intense but fragile, built on haste and secrecy. Tybalt challenges Romeo to a duel. Romeo refuses to fight, because he is now secretly Tybalt's kinsman through marriage. Mercutio, Romeo's loyal friend, is angered by what he sees as cowardice and fights Tybalt himself. Tybalt kills Mercutio. Enraged and grieving, Romeo abandons his restraint and kills Tybalt in revenge. This act marks a turning point in the play. The prince banishes Romeo from Verona, rather than sentencing him to death. Juliet is torn between loyalty to her husband and her love for her family. Ultimately, she remains faithful to Romeo. The couple share a final night together before Romeo flees to Mantua. Meanwhile, Lord Capulet, believing Juliet is grieving for Tybalt, arranges her immediate marriage to Paris. When Juliet refuses, her father reacts with fury, threatening to disown her. The nurse advises Juliet to marry Paris, betraying Juliet's trust. Feeling isolated, Juliet turns to Friar Lawrence for help. Friar Lawrence devises a risky plan. Juliet will drink a potion that simulates death for 42 hours. She will be laid in the Capulet tomb, and Romeo will be informed so he can retrieve her when she awakens. Juliet returns home and pretends to agree to marry Paris. The Capulets joyfully prepare for the wedding. Alone in her chamber, Juliet fears the consequences of the potion but drinks it anyway. The next morning, she is found seemingly lifeless. The wedding celebration transforms into mourning, and she is placed in the family tomb. Friar Lawrence's letter explaining the plan fails to reach Romeo due to a quarantine. Instead, Romeo hears from his servant Balthasar that Juliet is dead. Devastated, Romeo purchases poison and returns to Verona. At the Capulet tomb, he encounters Paris, who confronts him. Romeo kills Paris in the ensuing duel. Believing Juliet truly dead, Romeo drinks the poison and dies beside her. Moments later, Juliet awakens. Discovering Romeo's body and realizing what has happened, she refuses to flee with Friar Lawrence. Instead, she stabs herself with Romeo's dagger. The prince, The Montagues and the Capulets gather at the tomb. Friar Lawrence explains the secret marriage and the failed plan. Confronted with the loss of their children, the two families finally reconcile. They vow to honor Romeo and Juliet with golden statues, acknowledging that their feud caused the tragedy. From the prologue onward, fate governs events. References to stars, fortune, and destiny suggest that Romeo and Juliet are powerless against larger forces. Their love is immediate, intense, and transformative. However, it is also impulsive and reckless, contributing to the tragedy. The feud creates an atmosphere of violence that traps the younger generation. Personal grudges escalate into fatal consequences. The young characters act quickly and emotionally, while the older generation often fails to understand or guide them effectively. Imagery of light frequently surrounds Juliet, symbolizing purity and hope, while darkness often conceals both love and danger. Romeo and Juliet is not simply a love story, but a profound tragedy about how hatred, miscommunication, and rash decisions destroy lives. The reconciliation of the Montagues and Capulets comes too late to save the lovers, making their deaths both heartbreaking and meaningful. Shakespeare presents love as powerful and beautiful, yet vulnerable in a world ruled by conflict and fate. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.